What's up, people? I'm Xogue, and welcome back to Mod Sauce. Now, the last episode we did some mana generation things. Let's go take a look to see how things are going. First of all, these pools are filling up quite nicely. They got a big boost, pretty big boost, and this guy also got a huge boost. I've only been on the server in this world for just a couple minutes, really. I say a couple, it's more like, I don't know, about 10 minutes or so, and you saw how much it jumped since the last time I checked it, and I checked it right when I got on the server. So that is a fresh update. This is filling up very, very fast. So, that's good for now. We have done so much Botania in the last few episodes, I do kind of want to take a break. But I do also want to mention, you see I kind of bordered this. I don't think the glass tied it in well enough. I do want to keep all the wood and all the Botania decorations that I have over there, but I needed to tie it in just a little bit better, especially from the top. And now I think it works pretty well. The white of the monopools does tie in pretty nicely with the white stone brick, and it just, I don't know, I think that looks a lot better. The next thing I want to mention is that I actually got a few suggestions for names. Not only for, you know, the cube thing that I have underneath, which I'll get to in a minute, but also this guy right here. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen, I don't know, they've been all over the place in movies and stuff. But if you remember, there are pillars of wine glasses. You know, at the bottom level, you have like 15, and then on top of that, there's like 10, and on top of that, there's 5, and it all starts with 1. They call that, I don't know, a wine fountain or something like that. Something along those lines. So I thought, well, I didn't think, my buddy thought that this should be called a mana fountain, because it starts with 1, and it just cascades down into the many. And I thought that was a wonderful idea. The thing is, that's a good idea. That's great. I like it. I like it a lot. So this thing will now be known as the Mana Fountain. The next thing that I want to mention is that I did get a suggestion for what this should be called. Now I actually got 2 suggestions. One of which is called the Grid, and the other is Hypercube. I'm not entirely sure that I don't want to go with Hypercube, but I do like the Grid better. Hypercube just, I don't know, it sounds a little more common. I think I've seen it in movies and stuff. I don't know, it just doesn't sound as good as it should. Kind of one of those situations. But the Grid, I like that. You know, the Grid, it's like the system. It's like the backbone of, you know, you got to think, you have the information grid, you have, I don't know, every kind of grid you can think of. It's like the backbone, the core structure. And that's pretty much exactly what this thing is. It's the core structure of the entire ME network. I mean, you have the crafting in here. You have a lot of the power in here. You have the channel management. You have the crafting storage. I mean, you've got the grid in this cube. It's exactly what it is. So I thought that fit pretty well, and then that's what we're going to go with. So we have the Grid and the Mana Fountain. Those are our 2 names. Now, like I said, I want to take a break from Botania for at least a few episodes. I'll be jumping back in. Don't worry. I will get into the other, you know, the other flowers and stuff. Generate even more mana, even faster, and it's going to be great. But too much at one time, too much of one thing, or too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So we're going to take a break for a bit. But what are we going to do this episode? Now, I'm toying with a couple options, one of which is actually... Oh, wrong button. There's the camera mod. One of which is Galacticraft. I'm thinking about trying to get this started, but I think I need to do a lot of research for that. I'm not entirely sure I want to try to mess with Galacticraft just yet. But I do. And the other is maybe start trying to set up a reactor. I don't need the power. But I did get a comment a while ago, a few videos ago, saying that I don't know why you didn't take the 10 minutes to set up a reactor. Now, granted, it does take longer than 10 minutes to set up a reactor. Well, setting it up isn't really the hard part. Making all of the pieces for it are making sure you have enough yellowite to power it, coming up with the cyanide reprocessing, system. Some of that can be problematic, and there are a few glitches with, the reactors that I will need to address, but I do have the answers to them, and I will explain what those issues are and how to fix them once we get into it. But I'm not sure exactly what I want to do in this episode. I really don't know. I don't know. So you're going to have to wait for the next cut, because in the next cut, I'm going to have that answer. I'm going to figure it out. And yeah, that cuts right about. All right, well, I have decided to do the reactor. The reason for that is because Galacticraft kind of requires a whole lot of stuff, and that whole lot of stuff is, well, it's more than one episode worth. And if I was going to do it, I wanted it all done now. I didn't really want to do just the setup for this episode, so I figured we'd do the reactor. Now, I have already cleared out the area, as you can see, and I have all of the reactor casing, the Yellorium. Well, I don't have all of the Yellorium fuel rods. I kind of want to see exactly how many more I need. I didn't want to make more stuff than I needed. And this is all of the glass and all of the reactor casings for all the sides but the top. I have enough Yellorium fuel rods to cover a lot of what I need, but not all of it. And what was the last part? Oh, I didn't do any of the reactor control rods. Now, the way this works is, well, the way mine's going to work is that I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I want an 11 by 11 setup going. So, well, 11 by 11 by 11, actually. So I dug out 13 just to give it a little bit of room on each side so I can get around to it a little bit. And this is going to go all the way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And then this is going to go across just the same. Whoa, 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 man. What are you giving me those for? I don't want those. Why can't things be smart? I can't give you what it is you need exactly. So the idea is that this reactor is a multi-block structure. This multi-block structure, no, no, no. Why does it keep going to that one? It annoys the crap out of me. I get out and then I go back into it and I'm here. Oh, I know why, because I'm not never mind. Never mind. Just ignore me. Playing other games really messes me up sometimes. Okay. Anyway, here's the builder's wand. Let's go ahead and grab this guy out. What? Grr. Let's replace you then. Okay, so now I want this whole bottom level to be filled with the casings. Ah, that's why you're not working properly. Okay. And then we need to go up. I think I only went up 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 counting the bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay. Then it goes all the way over and around. After the bottom is filled, which I assume you can actually fill with glass again if you really wanted to, but I normally don't because I like this better. It doesn't use as much glass. And you're not going to see it anyway. So I just bring this here, and then this comes across. But it's just kind of like the shell. Kind of like this. I should have enough reactor casing. No. To do everything that I need to do here. Up here, and then you come all the way across. Alright, so I have 19 more for some reason that I'm not aware of. Apparently I miscounted or something. It happens. Anyway, so now we're going to use the glass here. And we're going to coat the rest of the sides with this. Now this does say ender tank glass, and in different versions it says reactor glass or something similar. But ender tank glass does work. It is what is supposed to be here. It is even, if you look at the tooltip, from Big Reactors. So they just changed the name of it, but I'm not sure what version they changed the name of it in. So if yours says reactor glass, then you can check with that as well. Go across like this and like this. Alright, I'm about to be trapped, so I'll leave this one empty for now. And I'll fill that in later. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. Filled in the wrong one. Anyway, so is that all full? That is all full. Just like this. Ah, dang it. Is that all of it? I think that's all of it. I hope that's all of it. Okay, and then that side. All these sides are done. Go like this. Then like that. So it should be pretty much full except for the top, which now that I think about it, I need to clear out an extra room. But all I'm going to do now is pretty much, let me make sure that's all solid. It looks like it. I'm going to clear out the roof. I'm going to set some of these fuel rods up and be sure that, you know, I go and remake as many as I need. I don't know why. I just horribly miscounted, apparently. Oh, well, whatever. But I'm going to basically fill in as much as I need, make everything I need, and set it up minus the liquid redstone, which is what I'm using for a coolant. And I'll bring you back and explain a little bit about how this thing works after everything is set up. Alright, so before we went down there, you just got to think, I haven't been on this map for, I don't know, maybe 30, 35 minutes at most. I want to show you this because this is miraculous. These food things are incredibly fast. See this guy? This guy is completely full. These guys have started filling up and these guys are almost full. I mean, you have to think. Right here, it's starting to fill these up, and it's filling them up so fast, even though it's spreading to 4 different monopoles. I mean, this guy was barely half full when I started this map, so I got half a monopole in like half an hour. That's insane. That is so fast. It is ridiculous, but awesome. It's just amazing. It's marvelous. It's great. It's just great. So these guys are going to take a lot longer, obviously, to fill up. But once these are almost full, the rest are going to fill up really, really quick. And I said before that if I don't, you know, if all of these fill up, then I don't use Botania enough. That is definitely true, but it's still like a holy crap moment. Did you get down here? Where are you? What? Oh, there you are. Die. Anyway, so I have already gotten... I got a bunch of destabilized redstone. I don't even know if it's enough. But I'll show you what we're going to use this for here in just a second, as soon as I get down to the bottom. And eventually, I will be hooking up a portal to down here, so don't worry about this staircase. It will eventually be obsolete. That's my hope. And it's probably just going to go right in front of this guy here. And then, you know, I'll flatten the rest of this out. I don't know. I'll make it look a little bit better. But here is the rest of everything. I have the... Ooh, don't fall. Reactor control rods right here. And yeah, now let me just go ahead and, why am I stuck? I'm stuck. What? Ugh. This game sometimes, this game. Anyway, so there are 25 Yellorium fuel rods in this thing. Each fuel rod is 9 tall because it's the entire thing is 10 tall, but then you have to take away 1 for the base and 1 for the top. So it's only 9 tall, each fuel rod. But basically, the idea of a reactor is that you have these fuel rods, and then you fill them up with Yellorium, and that Yellorium is burned in basically to generate heat. And that heat is transferred to the case of the reactor via whatever coolant you use. That heat is translated into power through, you know, the whole programming of a reactor. So that's the general idea of how these reactors work. So the better your coolant means the faster heat is transferred to the case, and therefore the faster energy is created. Now, you also need to pay attention to how cool these are staying. The faster and the hotter that these cool rods are, or the fuel rods are, the faster you're burning that fuel and the faster you will go through Yellorium. That, well, is pretty much your fuel source. If you don't have Yellorium, you can't run a reactor. It's not necessarily true. We'll get into that later. You can actually reprocess cyanite, which is the waste product of reactors, into blue something. I forget what it's called. Blue. I don't remember. I don't remember what it's called. But basically, cyanite can be reprocessed back into a fuel source, and that can be used in reactors as well. So you kind of have, you know, 2 ingots of fuel per 1 Yellorium, and that's pretty cool. But we do have to set that up later. For now, we have plenty of Yellorium, at least to get this started. And that was my phone. But yeah, I mean, that's the basic idea. So what I have here is destabilized redstone. We're going to set this up right here. Okay, just like this. And we're going to ring this all the way around and fill up every empty space of this reactor with with this destabilized redstone. And what this is going to act as, this is the coolant. This is the coolant we are going to use. One, because it's really easy to get. Two, it's also really, really good. There might be other better methods, such as I've heard about putting diamond blocks in the center of these because diamond is really good, or, you know, certain other things. You can use certain solid materials, like I mentioned, blocks of diamond. But I find liquid much easier to place, much easier to use, and it's really not bad as a coolant. So this is what we're going to use, and I'm going to just continue to fill this up, and then I'm going to put in the glass. And before I put in the final piece, I will bring you back and show you. I'll have everything else set up and ready to go, and that way you can see, well, basically it turned into a thing. You're going to see that. I'm going to let you see that. So let me get back to this, and I will see you back in just a second. Now that is incredibly cool. All right, so here we are at the top. Give me. Oh, crap. I broke a couple things, I think. What did I break? I thought I heard a couple. What? Did I break glass here? Oh, yes, I did. There it is. Okay, found it. It's okay. All right, so you see how it's all separated? And I know you probably just saw the full one there, but see how it changed? Now it is a complete setup. So what I have back here is just, you know, an Ender energy conduit, 20,000 RF per tick, coming out of the power tap into my Tesseract that is sent to send. So now I have bunches and bunches of energy all ready to go. Now, there is an issue with these outlet or the reactor access ports. Usually I would use something like an item transfer node or something along those lines to send and receive items from this. But there seems to be some kind of a bug where over time it will stop working, and I don't know why. But a buddy of mine found a solution in these item translocators. These things are amazing. These things are really amazing. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Now you do need, you know, a bunch of the reactor casing, a bunch of ender tank glass, 2 access ports, 1 power tap, and the controller. That's everything you need for it. I mean, you can do the math. You saw me do the math wrong, and they're not hard to look up in the NEI. So if you want to make something like this, it just needs to have these components, and you're good to go. But it also needs however many of these reactor control rods and the Yellorium fuel rods that are down below it. And each of these is just a full stack of Yellorium fuel rods topped with a reactor control rod. And that's pretty much the setup you need. Now, these things work best if they are completely surrounded on all 4 flat sides by the coolant, which is why it's in this checkerboard pattern. I don't know if it will work in any other pattern or not, but I was told, well, I watched or read somewhere that this was pretty much the best setup, with one full ring of coolant around the outside to allow, you know, these outside fuel rods to have that coolant on that side. But I think it would probably work without it if you really wanted to put more in here to generate more power. But since mine is 11 by 11 by 11, it's going to generate a bunch of power. That's just what's going to happen. So what we need to do now is turn it on. And you do that by, you come in here, and this is where all of your information is. You see the temperature, the lower the better. You have how much flux per tick, how much usage there is in the fuel, and reactivity, which I'm not sure which one's better, to be honest. But we're going to activate this guy, and you see the casing heat jumping up. It's skyrocketing. And there's the energy buffer. It cannot transmit enough. It is going down. You see it ticking down, but that one energy conduit cannot send out enough. So what I can do is actually add on more. I believe I can add on more. Let's go ahead and deactivate this guy for now. I'm going to go grab a couple more power taps and hook them up. Maybe I'll put them in the middle. Maybe I'll switch this guy. Let's do this. And put you here. It should still be set properly, but just in case it's not, let's go ahead and set that frequency again. And then we're going to put another one here, here, and here, and see if we can actually get this thing to drain out the energy that it's receiving. But I'll be right back. All right, well, it seems that we have, I wouldn't call it an issue. It's definitely not an issue. But you see that it's offline, and all four of them are hooked up at the moment, which is fantastic. That's great. But the way these work is that the core remains on for a while. It actually continues to generate power. And I assume that's what this is. Unless the reactor has to be on in order to output it, which does kind of make sense. Yeah. I see that as... Well then. Why? Whoa, it actually went down. So, okay, it stabilizes about 475%, which is actually kind of high. But since we cannot output all of the power, there's one other thing we can do. You see these reactor control rods here. If you right-click on them, you can actually insert the rod into the uranium fuel rods. You can insert a little spike in there. I guess basically it's supposed to control how much fuel it uses, which is awesome. That's pretty cool because we can now manage the situation and reduce this until we can actually pull out fuel. We can kind of keep our eye on this, and if it ever comes to a point in time where we absolutely need more power, we can come back and add up more power taps and another tesseract and just kind of increase these back to, you know, just kind of reduce the amount of insertion that's in here. And that will let us generate more power because this is reducing power output or power generation at the moment. So, you know, we don't have to worry about it too much. I love this feature. This is one of the best features I've seen in pretty much any mod pack. This is just fantastic how you can create this big, huge thing that will forever power your base and then tune it down so that you're not using all of your resources as soon as you get them. This is one of the best things I've ever seen. Not a lot of mod packs do this kind of a thing. And I would love to see more of them do so. But for the purposes of this, we are going to reduce this down to 50%. I think I got them all. I don't know. But we're going to find out if 50% of this massive reactor is still too much for, it is still producing more than 20, 40, 60, 80 RF a tick, which I'm thinking it probably will, but I don't know. You see, now it's generating 50. It says it's generating 50. Oh, it's 50,000. Yeah. This should go down. If that's as much as it's generating, this should go down. And I don't know why it's not. Ooh, interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know. I'll have to mess with this later. But the basic idea is, as you saw, this does reduce the output. I am generating at 50%, 50,000 RF a tick. 50,000. That's just crazy. That's nuts. So I can generate over 100,000 RF per tick with this one massive reactor. I don't need the windmills, but I am using them. Oh, that's right. I guess, you know, stuff. But yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. So all we got to do now is just find more ways to use a lot of power. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're probably never going to use all of the power that we're capable of generating. All of the power generation stuff in this mod pack are crazy. They're crazy. Let's see how much cyanite. We only have 4 cyanite ingots at the moment. That's really good. We're still generating 50,000 RF a tick, plus the windmills. We have enough power to generate, or to power anything we want. Just nuts. It's crazy. And there's other power generation techniques that I want to use. You can even hook a turbine up to that thing and generate even more power. That's a huge setup. I will probably get into it because I plan on doing every type of power generation that exists. But, it is what it is. I have some really cool ideas for going over the top. But I'm not going to go over the top until near the end of this series. Just because my plan for the end of the series is to crash the map. It sounds bad, and it's not that hard to do, really, but I want to crash the map, not just by overloading a chunk or anything like that. I just want to have so much going on in the map that I crash it. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're going to find out anyway. I'm just going to play around and do some really, really huge projects. I'm going to go over the top with everything that I can, including Botania, blood magic, maybe, if I can figure out a way to go, you know, and do a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. Mob traps with, you know, soul shards. I'm going to have, like, I don't know, a whole bunch of them. One for every mob type. I don't know. I'm just going to do everything that I can. That's my plan for this series, is just to do everything. But anyway, it's pretty ambitious. We're going to see what I can do. But that's the end of this episode. If you like it, please click that like button. If you want my videos sent directly to you, then don't forget to subscribe. And also don't forget to comment, favorite, and share it if you feel like you want to. I'll see you next time. And thanks so much for watching.